kind of distance yourself away from WWE?
I don't distance myself from anywhere. Like in wrestling, if I get the opportunity to watch absolutely anything, I will watch it. If I'm home, I'll watch it. If I'm on the road and I get access to it, I'll watch it. Like, these days I travel so much. You just named a few of the companies that I work for, but I do work for many places right now, and I try to surround myself with the best talent in the world, and I'm literally traveling the entire world right now. As I mentioned, I'm in Scotland right now. I get to base myself in Scotland because I'm from here, but I'm traveling all over UK the next couple of weeks, and I'm back and straight to New York, I believe it is, and then I think I'll do something near Tampa. Then I went straight to Australia, and then back for the TNA pay-per-view coming up. There's just so much going on. I really need not just an agent and my schedule, but somebody like my girlfriend constantly reminding me where I'm supposed to be all the time and saying, when are you ever actually going to come home? And the answer is, I don't know now. Thanks for putting up with me, but wrestling is my life right now.
Well, well, you mentioned having time away. What is it like comparing WWE and TNA, time wise, work wise? What's like the main difference between the two?
Well, obviously, WWE is the biggest company in the entire planet and has been for a very long time. It runs every single week and all these different shows and multiple unique hours every single week. And the sports entertainment that Mr. McMahon had created is its own particular brand. Like every match is not necessarily very long, and there's a little, advertisement for the pay-per-view. Pretty much, it's just a very different, fast-paced environment. With TNA, we're trying to create something different. Like I mentioned in the stand-up promos and everything I've been doing, it's not just a character. It's genuinely what I believe. Like I've got an opportunity now to just wrestle. That's all I want to do is just wrestle. I can't thank WWE enough for the years that I had there, and that's the reason I got the opportunity to go to places I've gone right now, and the amount of TV time I had, the different characters I had to show the versatility. I can never thank them enough, but it's so cool to go to wrestle and just be myself right now. Try to help build something. Like we film multiple TVs at a time, and it's shown over the few weeks that we filmed it, and inevitably we're adding more events over time, and things are, starting from the foundation again. We kind of hit the reset button. We're starting to build something cool, and the fans are starting to, get with it and give it a chance. If they went away from it, they're coming back and having a watch, and they can see we're just about basics. Like, there's no point to try to compete with WWE. No company can compete with WWE, but if you create something different and make people say, "Ooh, what's going on over here?" Like the Lucha Undergrounds and the Ring of Honors and the TNAs. So we're all different, but we're all professional wrestling, and it's a cool time for wrestling because there's so much going on, and it's healthy for the first time in years. It's cool to be part of something.
Now, you've been in you mentioned you've had a couple of factions. I mean, you had your faction in early indie days. You had a great faction in TNA for the brief run that it had. But also, a lot of people don't know, but back when they did WWE 12, I believe it was, in the game, they have you, Sheamus, Regal, and Barrett as the United Kingdom, and you were like a complete dominating force. Was there ever any talks about making that, game deal an actual reality?
I'm not sure about in the storyline wise. That's something you're not privy to unless you're actually there at the time. It's something that inevitably only the boss will decide himself. But I know a lot of the boys have always talked about it, and we've talked about it. And I'm sure Regal hopefully brought it up because it's something we all knew would work. And to have like a mentor in Regal would have been unbelievable for all of us to learn and develop and be on screen with and help, get us over in that way. That's just something that when you're put in a situation with people you're legitimately friends with, you really get the best out of people. You can play off each other, and you're very comfortable and confident. It could have been a good thing. It was really, really cool to be able to play the game. I don't play the Who Gives Too Much, but you better believe I played the entire storyline mode with all of us involved with each other, and that's one of the coolest things in my career that's ever happened so far.
It was quite a deal. And now going to another faction, from something big to something, not as taken seriously, but 3MB was kind of like your last big thing you did in WWE. Do you have like any, stories, behind the scenes? Because obviously on screen, you guys looked like, you could just have like these Guitar Hero guitars and just, still work with it and still be over with the fans, something like that. But do you guys have like any like funny stories that you could tell us about, the three of you, either like doing something crazy or anything like that?
I got to keep things PG. But, I remember like WWE invested in tout, like I think it's one of the original Twitter contraptions that you could post videos. Like, I'll not be able to use any technical terms here because I'm not the most internet savvy. But where you could post videos onto the Twitter. I remember nobody was doing anything with it, and WWE just invested in it. And I said to Heath and Jinder, I was like, well, we're doing this DMB thing. Like, why don't we make things interesting, give us something entertaining for the fans to watch, and something entertaining for us to do? So we started just going out and wherever term we're in and just partying and filming little clips, putting together little skits and shenanigans. I remember in New Orleans, we went down Bourbon Street and just got hammered and then filmed it for the night and just had a laugh with it. We posted it out there and it got a lot of attention from the fans and the office as well. A few other guys started doing it with us. Some of the backstage stuff that we do, just trying to entertain ourselves, entertain the fans, and generally when you're having fun, the fans are having fun, and that was the beauty of BMB. A lot of people initially were like, why are you doing this with her, or why don't you give them something serious, give them a chance, which I really appreciate everybody standing up for. I mean, saying that, in the end, there's always so many people that can do the serious character, and there's so many roles in WWE, that's just the nature of WWE. So they gave me an opportunity, something different. I was hurt at the time, but I could wrestle anyway. So it's something like a complete 180. And the fans saw just how much of a laugh we were having with it, and that's why it started working, started getting over, because they were just enjoying it as much as we were. And, it's just a good time. You're having fun at work, and it's still a dream no matter what role you're doing.
Now, when you were in WWE, did you have any matches that just stood out to you? I mean, you mentioned, you and Sheamus had great chemistry, but was there anybody else that had great chemistry with you in the ring in WWE?
A bunch of people in those matches I really, really enjoyed. When I come up on the Chosen One run, I guess the biggest one for the IC title run was when I lost the title to Kofi Kingston. That was the peak of the character. The crowd were wild. I had Teddy Long at ringside, and he counted to 3. And that was a really big match, and I had a lot of chemistry with Kofi, and John Morrison I won the title from. Like, we had all these matches where we just went out and same with everybody I wrestled to just try and come up with such creative things that have not been done as far as we know in wrestling, that will stand out and tell a compelling story that just gets everyone attention in all the right ways, move-wise, story-wise, and just get everybody connected. And guys like us, the younger guys, and Chris Massos, I wrestled a bunch of superstars. I can't put those matches over enough. People have not seen them. Evan Bournes as well. God, I'm going to miss people. There's so many people that used to love wrestling, but that was always the goal. Was let's go out there. Let's not just give them a bunch of flashy moves that make no sense. Let's not just go out there and try to tell a story if it's not very interesting. Let's try and combine it all. Have a great match, a great story, and everybody wins, especially the fans.
Now, did you have any, ideas for, management to kind of, maybe stand you up from everybody else, or did you have, any ideas that, when you weren't really doing that much, do you have any ideas like, I was thinking about this idea for a matchup or this idea for a matchup, and they were just kind of not sure if that would get you over with the fans?
Yeah, we were just trying to throw ideas out. I remember one that we were kind of talking about briefly was a play on my FCW character Dusty Rhodes had created, with a Scottish, not playboy, but I'm a kind of party guy. I guess eventually TMD happened, but I don't know, they were kind of on that, something that kind of matched how I looked, and it was a bit different from the Chosen One stuff, so to try something different. And that kind of gets talked about for a bit, I guess, the version of my FCW character. But nothing materialized out of that, and inevitably TMD happened, which I don't know what the original plan was. I was hurt at the time. I don't think the boss knew and invested in a few promos, if you remember the VH1 behind the music and stuff, and then found out I couldn't touch anyone or be touched for 6 months. So that's the time that we just relit the character stuff, especially me, because I'm the one that couldn't wrestle. So whatever the original plan was obviously switched, and by the time I was back, we were full-fledged comedy that really couldn't do much serious, but the times that we did do serious stuff, the crowd were really invested in it. So, plenty of more miles that could have come out of it. But obviously they saw it as, okay, we need to cut some funds, and TMD wasn't necessary, and thankfully people believing in me and myself believe things have worked out pretty well over the past year.
When you said Scottish Playboy, for some reason I think the first thing that came to my mind was another version of Val Venis, but I don't think that's what you were talking about, were you?
No. It was more length of a good time and party, more than a porn star. PG these days.
Do you have like any favorite person that you love tagging with that you just had that chemistry where you guys just clicked immensely?
There was a couple. I'd say probably the top one would be Wade Barrett. Him and I were FCW, like developmental at the time, tag team champions for I think the longest run. We lost it for like a week or something at one point, but we pretty much had the titles for like a year straight.
Wow.
In the the FCW. That would have been another cool thing to revisit, even fit into the faction with Sheamus and Regal as well, even just the three of us with the UK thing. That might have been cool. Him and I had a real good thing going on. We just got to the point where we didn't have to call anything to each other. We just had our things we did, and we pretty much just mauled everybody, like LOD, British LOD style, I guess. But we're always fun, exciting matches, and because we were so physically imposing, when the good guys rallied their comeback, the crowd really believed in it.
Yeah, definitely. Wade Barrett is one of those guys who I still think is going to be a world champion in the making. Do you have any advice for Wade Barrett to kind of help him get over, not only with the fans but also with the company, to maybe get to that, as they call it, the promised land, to get to being the world champion?
That's no advice I can give him. I'd probably text him anyway, but yeah, it's just the right time, the right opportunities. The same, like as I mentioned earlier, with WWE, it's just there's only so many spots at the time, and when you get the opportunity to do something, they give you that opportunity, just knock it out. And anytime he gets to talk, he's always going to knock it out and get a job done in the ring, obviously, but his strongest attribute, I'll tell you himself, is talking. I'd say the more he gets to talk, and the more serious the role, I think the better. I know the bad news Barrett character was getting over, but I like my Wade Barrett. Like I mentioned, the tough guy thing. Well, look at that man's nose. To give him a microphone, let him be a tough guy, and he's aggressive in the ring. The rest writes himself.
Yeah, definitely. I always thought that his, I think it was his second return after the core. He did this, went back to the bare knuckle fighter deal. He called the Barrett Barrage. I thought that was just amazing how he, embellished that and made it into something bigger. And he was on a dominant rampage. He defeated guys like Sheamus. He defeated guys like Randy Orton. And then I think he had that shoulder injury.
Yeah, I think it's injuries have cut him off when he's starting to go on a bit of a roll. But now he's healthier than he's ever been. He's as lean as he's ever been. He's got the abs going now. So I think physically he's the best shape he's been in a long time, and not worried about any injuries or anything right now. So as soon as they pull the trigger, he'll be good to go. He's at the right age, right experience. He's the right guy. It's somebody that I would definitely have as one of my top 5 guys.
How tough is it to deal with any kind of injury that comes up? You're getting on a roll. You're thinking, okay, I'm going places, and then you get injured, and then it's just oh no, I have to go to the bottom. How heartbreaking is that to deal with that kind of deal?
That was devastating. So obviously they build you up, get momentum going, and when you get hurt, unless you're John Cena or somebody like that, chances are when you come back, it's going to be starting afresh. Your momentum's gone. It's I'm sure very annoying. It never happened when I hurt my wrist. I wasn't on any particular type of program or anything, so it was annoying, and I hate having an injury. But it didn't affect me anyway, so I've not experienced that. And recently, I was worried that I had something on my shoulder. I tore my labrum slightly in my shoulder, and I was worried about that. And I had to be very careful and couldn't work out. I had to be careful the way I did my matches. I've been on such a roll over the past year, and I knew that some big things coming up. I just was very careful and didn't risk being out for even longer. Thankfully, it's healed there. And that was a scary prospect for myself. If you're actually in the position, especially WWE on that role, that's not something I'd wish on anybody.
Now, you mentioned John Cena. While you were in WWE, was there any talks of having you do a program with him when you were either the Chosen One or doing anything before 3MB?
Nothing I was told, as I say, I'm not privy to that, but I imagine it would have happened if it kept going the direction where we're going. The Raw and SmackDown separation at the time, so I didn't get a lot of Raw exposure, which would have been obviously helpful with the much larger audience, but at times we were, I think, going neck and neck with them. But yeah, it would have been an inevitability if we just kept going the direction where we're going and didn't take the I guess the edge of the character is something that would definitely have